I feel like I haven't done a talking video. I feel like there's so much to say and talk about, and I just wanted to get on here because now that my vlogs are back, I feel like there is so much to Fry. Are you serious? Every time I start talking to the camera, Fry knows to start chewing on his bone. It's every time. But Fry. I'm not gonna lie, it rained a lot this week. Like a lot. So a lot of the things I was supposed to film, I couldn't film because it was downpouring. Which I know, no excuse, Jess, but I will say there are some things that I filmed, but I want to show you guys in next week's vlog because I am headed to a lot of events. Actually a couple of them being tonight. And there's so much on the way of, so much on the way. There's so much this week going on that I'm going to combine some of the stuff that I filmed this week into next week's vlog. But I just wanted to like talk on here because I just feel like I love being vulnerable and being myself again with you guys, and I feel like the old me is back, and so it's just nice to express myself and feel seen from you guys. And I don't know, it's not a scary place for me anymore. But let's backtrack from why I moved to New York, because I see that question get asked a lot from you guys, and I'm just gonna be fully transparent. I moved here to New York because I've always wanted to live in New York. First off, like, it's always been a goal of mine to live in New York since I was a little girl. The first time I came here with my family on a vacation, I remember being like, one day I'm gonna move to New York. And to say I did it and did it on my own, I'm so proud of myself. But I also moved out of California because I grew up there my whole life, but I also was just in I was in a dark place of like, everything reminded me of my ex-husband. Everything was just, it was bad. Like, it was getting to the point where I was like, I was getting on the freaking 101 freeway, like crying because I just, you know, there's so many random little memories or things that would like trigger me. And this is where I get like very, you know, I'm not really scared to open up because it is my life, but before I would be scared to speak on it because it's like I never wanted to come across like, oh my god, she's bringing it up, she's talking about it again. And like, said this before in a TikTok, but it is true because I know that I just never want to come across any type of way. But it is my life, and it was a big part of my life, and I think it is okay to talk about my healing process and how I move forward in my life now, because it is a part of my journey. But I moved because I was really depressed, and I was really in a sad place where everything reminded me of them, and I couldn't do it anymore. And it got to the point where my body was telling me to leave. Like, it was a feeling where I couldn't ignore it or like suppress it anymore. So I will say, if you ever feel like you're going through something where your body is telling you, or your gut or whatever, trust it. Because, you know, if I didn't trust my gut, I feel like I would be even more in a darker hole if I was still in California. And it was a scary thing to do, to move from California to New York. But at the time, I was like almost in survival mode that I didn't even like really think about it. It happened so quick and it needed to be done. And doing that, I look back and I was like, oh my god, I didn't even realize. Like, my mom always tells me, she's like, Jessica, you are on the opposite side of the country. Because I always feel bad not coming home a lot just because my brother had... Okay, also ignore that. I had to take this down because it was like a shelf, but I put my candles on it, and obviously the candles burned up against the shelf, made it, I don't know. I need to fix that. It's so ugly and heinous. So sorry on that. But also, I love how my camera died even though I just charged it. So it wasn't a typical Jessica situation. It was the camera. I don't know what's going on. this is the reminder that I needed, that I need to get a new camera. But I was saying what was I saying? Oh, my brother just had a baby. So, there is times where I feel guilty for not being back in California with them, but I did need to move here to find myself. And I don't know, I just feel like, living my whole life in California, it's like all I've ever known. And I love exploring, and I love putting myself in uncomfortable situations. And this really isn't an uncomfortable situation, but it is a big deal moving across the country. And I think I didn't even realize it till recently. I was like, it's actually like, it's a pretty big deal. I can't cry. Like, I can't look at that. It's so, but yeah, I don't know. I love being here and finding myself and pushing myself to like meet new people and explore things that I haven't done. And there's just like I've noticed a lot of things that I do now that I just would have never done with living in California. And even with like my music, like I feel like I've found myself with even just alone, like being more confident in me and what I want for myself, and knowing my vision and knowing what I want and how I hear my music. And I am so excited. I cannot wait to show you guys everything that I've been working on, especially this next EP. It's very whimsical and euphoric, and it's a very crushy album, and I feel like it's a project that I needed to make for myself, because I am all about dreaming and lusting and falling and crushing, and this is that type of project, which is honestly my favorite type of music. I freaking love just crushy pop music. So I made songs that I'm so proud of, and songs that I would listen to even if they weren't me, because I just love everything about them. So I'm excited to show you guys these songs, which, I mean, there's 4 songs on this EP. And yeah, they will be coming all out through the summer because they're definitely fun and dancey and summery and just happy, which I think that's all I want to do. Is the more I've grown up, I've realized like what makes me truly happy and what I want for myself. And I've never been a person, I really have never been a person to, like, I don't care about material items and like having the fanciest and coolest, latest thing. I don't know. I'm more just about, I want to be happy, and I just want to be able to travel the world and make music and touch people's like lives, and make people feel like happy when they listen to my music, and feel a sense of joy, and that they can like, I don't know, I just want, like, my goal with especially my music is just like, I picture when I was 13, 14, and I would play a certain song, and I'm like right now I'm like thinking of my little iPod Nano, and I would just be like having all the feels on a crush and daydreaming and being just in a state of bliss. And I think that's what I want for myself when it comes to that. But also, I just want to be happy and be around amazing people and kind people. And I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job at that for the most part. But I will say, for a long time, I was very angry. And that was not a side of me that I loved and enjoyed. And, I'm still working through certain things in my life where, I think what I've learned, at least, in my relationships is that a bug on the inside? Oh my God, it is. I think what I learned most with my relationships is that you can't force anything and you can't change anyone, and to not put like somebody on a pedestal when they don't even deserve it. And I've learned that a lot too recently with dating, because I do tend to fall pretty quick. Guilty, very guilty. But I've learned also through these years that like to put myself first and to just do what I want to do with my life and to enjoy my life and to do the things that inspire me and things that I love. And, you know, the love part of my life will come when it needs to come. And I get asked too, like, am I dating and whatever? And the answer is, yeah, I have dated recently in the last couple of years. And, you know, some experiences have been great and some have been like, what am I doing? Why did I give people these chances? But it's okay. I think every relationship you really do learn so much, not only about what you want in a relationship, but about yourself and what you're looking for. And I'm realizing more and more that I do love being alone right now. And I think that's the most important thing, because I do want to focus on my career and what I want to make for myself. And I think that's fair. So that's where I am in the love department. Okay, I am back. I'm like kicking up my feet, but then I just realized feet pics are gonna come for me. Wiki feet. What else was I going to say? Oh, I also just feel like, sorry, I'm like in a chit chatter mood, and I'm glad if you're stuck this long at this video. I hope I'm not boring you. But I also just want to say that like anybody who wants to go after, you know, their dreams, just do it. Just do it. I've learned more and more. The advice I wish I gave myself when I was younger is like, just go for it full-heartedly. Who cares what other people think? Like truly. And sometimes I think it stems from when I was younger. Like, I'm not gonna lie, in high school, I mean, I dressed literally like basketball shorts, XXXXL hoodie, and slippers to school. So a part of me like didn't care what people thought of me. Also, my nails are disgusting, so ignore them. But at the same time, I did, because there are certain things that I had to unlearn. Like, I had to rewire my brain of like, even just like dressing up, like wearing an outfit that I'm like, well, people like think this is like weird and whatever. And it's like, who cares, honestly? And I think I've said this before on a TikTok, but my girlfriends here were like, dude, we all live on a rock, and like we're literally all little itty bitty things on a freaking rock. Like, just go for it. Go for it. So if this is a reminder to you, if you feel like there's something you want in your life and you want to go for it and you have a goal or a dream, I swear, like, just do it. Because the more that I'm like leaning into my music and like I've been filming these videos, and first off, I can't wait to show you guys. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up my phone, because I want to show you guys like a clip. The more I'm like doing, like, you just gotta trust yourself and trust the process, and timing is everything, if you know what I mean. But like, it's
stunning. Wait. But like, look how freaking cool. It could be nothing at all. I promise, baby, I don't need too much. Just your time and some space to fall. I try to proceed with caution, cause all I've gotten is words off your lips. Okay. Also, with that song, Win Me Over, that I love how this video has just become me yapping about random different things in my brain. But Win Me Over is just realizing that song was inspired by me realizing that I was just, anytime this person called, I would get in an Uber right away and like head over to where they were. And I was realizing, I was like, they're just winning me over every time. But at this point, if you're gonna win me over, like, you gotta be giving me more than just your freaking words off your lips, baby boo. But it's a crushy song. It's just realizing that, like, they're making me want them nonstop, and it's fun and dreamy, and yeah, it's just realizing Jess has a crush, and that sometimes we look at them and we're like googly-eyed with the Google glasses on. But I have been better, though, about not putting guys on a pedestal, because that is something where I have done in my past, and it's not, it's the worst, because you have expectations. And I think if you go into relationships with not, like, obviously I have very high standards, but I will say, when you don't have any expectations and you don't really put that much pressure on it, then that's just when I think the best relationships happen. Not even like romantic relationships, just in general. And you just let things happen naturally and organically, and that always tends to be the best type of relationships, I think. And yeah, but I'm just really in such a good place, and I've healed, and I've come to accept things in my past, and I just never want to come across bitter. And I think there's things, I think what made me so sad with my past relationship was just the potential of us and what I saw for ourselves and our future. And when you're like creating a vision in your head of what you want to make with that other person, and then it's like taken away so quick and abruptly, and you really don't have any like, I didn't get to really have an opinion or say, which is crazy. Now I look back, but it's okay, and everything happens for a reason, which is so cheesy but true. You just have to move forward, and as much as it's easier said than done, and it is very hard to do, you just have to trust that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there is something out there better for you. And I am not perfect. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I dwelled on that relationship for a very, very, very long time, and all it did was hurt me more. That I like would sit and it's okay to be sad and cry and but you shouldn't let it consume your whole being, because there's so much more to life than that. And I've learned more about like self-love and loving myself before I can give myself to somebody else. And I'm so secure in who I am now that I know in my next relationship I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. I know I can walk away with being complete on my own. And I will say, when I was going through my divorce, I was very, very I felt very lost, and I felt just my worth almost was like gone because I put them before I put myself first. And you know, I was very, very young. And I don't take any of it back. I don't regret any of it. Because I met also so many amazing people along the way, and I was able to experience many amazing things that I know a lot of people may never even get to do. So I'm very fortunate and grateful. And yeah, I kind of had to like put in my brain, like they were like a high school college boyfriend. I know that sounds so bad, but it helped me, but yeah, you have to rewire your brain. And I just want to say, I am so happy to be back with you guys and open up and just talk. And I know this was a talking vlog, but my next week's video is going to be chaotic because there is a lot of fun things going on. And there's a lot of cool events that I'm attending, which we are excited for. And I'm getting dressed for an event for this brand, Longchamp, which I'm excited to go and attend. And there's just a lot of cool, like Dolce's dressing me for another event I got invited to. And just like, I don't know, I'm just very grateful, and I look at things so differently in the sense of like now where I'm like more grateful than ever that, this is my life and I get to share my experience with you guys. And I can't wait for you guys to hear the music because Win Me Over is about to be out very soon. So stay tuned for the official announcement. And yeah, I just want to say I love you, and hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Don't get too crazy. Also, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but let's go Knicks, even though I'm a Lakers fan. Now living in New York, I like kind of have to root for the Knicks, I feel like, just because the energy here is so alive when the Knicks games are on. So, but I love you guys, and thanks for yapping with me and watching me yap for like 20 minutes. But love you. Bye.